So please enjoy anyway. I'd like to start by saying, is anyone here scared of birds? Is anyone a little bit scared of birds? Anyone nervous? Are you a bit nervous, are you? They do come quite close to you, so try not to scream or anything like that, is that alright? And if you do need to leave at any stage, just let us know, let us be aware, we can walk you out and anything like that. So that is my warning. They come quite close, you might get a wing in your face or something like that, is that alright? Is that okay with you? That's okay, grand job. We always have to go through a little bit of health and safety as well, especially with surfaces, it's a bit more important. So try and stay seated or in your faces as much as possible throughout the display. If you do need to leave, that's perfectly fine. Just keep an eye on us, keep an eye on birds, be a bit more cautious. And because of the wind, they can blow the birds off course quite easily. So just be sure you don't get a bird in your face, try and be a bit cautious. If you have any food, please put it away. Our birds love a good munch, they will 100% steal it off you. And I do not fancy fighting a bird for a sandwich or anything, so that'd be great if you can put that away. As well as that, do not try and touch or pet the birds. They're captive bred, but they still have that wild instinct. So just for your safety more so than anything else. Yeah. This is a 3-word display. I'll be showing you the first bird, and my colleagues will be showing you the next two. It's roughly going to be about half an hour to 40 minutes, depending on how the birds go. We can't give you an exact time, because it really depends on the birds, especially with the bad weather, they could be a bit iffy, but hopefully they fly okay for us. We always like to say what we do here as well. So we're all about education and conservation. So we tell you all about our main birds. A lot of them are endangered, so we do mention that aspect as well, which can be a little bit sad, but it's just for the purpose of education. So there's 25 birds here in total, and all 25 come out at different times during the year for training or for display purposes, which is really nice, so they all come out for the free flying. They're also all captive bred, apart from Raven Lou. He was a rescue, he did not want to be released into the wild again, so he lives here now, but up to him, it's what he likes to do, so yeah. But anyway, we also work with organisations, so the 2 main organisations we work with is the Golden Eagle Trust, who I'll be telling you loads about with this first bird out, and we also work with the Barn Owl Project. So the Barn Owl Project is a charity organisation that aims to conserve barn owls and their environment. Barn owls can be found in every single continent in the world, but they're only endangered in Ireland, which is really sad. The biggest reason being rodenticide or rat poison. So what I always like to say is if you can take away one thing from this display, don't use rat poison, use anything else, you can actually help them out quite a bit. We also raise donations that goes towards vet bills and food bills for any sick or injured barn owls around Ireland, and we have leaflets on how to build barn owl boxes, and we also have 2 in display, so if you're interested, you can come up to afterwards. The second bird out is volunteers bird, so we'll try and get out as many people as we possibly can. We probably won't get through everybody, so I do apologise in advance, but just stay seated and put your hand up, and then we'll pick through you anyway, so hopefully we'll get a few out. But without further ado, the first bird will be joining us from this direction. Our first bird is called Aillwee. So Aillwee is a red kite, and she's quite recognisable because of her beautiful reddish brown body, she has angled wings, and she has a triangular shaped tail. So she lives in an aviary with her sister Aillwee, and they were born in a zoo in Belgium. They've been here since they're babies, they're now 9 years old. So in the wild for these guys, they live to about 10 or so, but in captivity they can't actually live well until their age 30. Because they've got access to vet care, they get their food every day, and not trying to kill them as much. Now she's slowly going to work her way down here. She's amazing at soaring at night and at the road straight away. So the really cool thing about her is her tail. So that tail is triangular shaped or fork shaped, you can also say. And the tail of the bird is very important. So the tail feathers have many uses, and it's all for the purpose of flight and balance. So for example, they can rotate their tail feathers from left to right, and that basically acts like a shutter on a boat, so they're able to steer really well by rotating their feathers from left to right. You missed that catch, bless it. Another thing that these guys can do with their tail is it's used for balance. So when they're perched up, you can balance really well, that nice long tail there. And then as well as that, it also acts as a brake, so they can lift their tail up, and it's a way of them slowing down, and a smooth landing that they can do. Their wings is another thing, so their wings are actually developed with 5-fingered limbs, and over millions of years they developed for the purpose of flight. So kind of like us, kind of you can think of your arm, it kind of reflects their wings. So they have 3 main joints, and they have one that connects to their shoulder, then they have one that resembles their elbow, and one that resembles their wrist. So their wings can go in and out, and they can also swivel, which is crucial for flight. So between their wings and their lovely fork-shaped tail, this is how these guys can soar really, really well. You comes close, I warned you. You caught that one with honor. But they're amazing. So they can often be seen flying high in the sky with slow, regular wind beats and in circles as such. So that's what they do best. Really cool thing, they're actually quite social. So kites can often be seen groups of up to 10, if not 20 members, sometimes more. And a group of kites is called a kettle or a wake. So you can remember that for any quizzes you have. You have to give me half the money if you win, because I told you the answer. But they're quite social, and they'll even do a whistling call to communicate towards one another, which you can often see or shed air doing when they're in their age. I'm going straight to catch her. You'll notice straight away that she's able to keep hold of her food and then fly off of it. So when she's doing these catches, that she completely ignored me for that one. But they keep hold of it and then fly off, which is pretty good. Now, so they have that ratchet mechanism. You're ignoring me altogether, missus, are you? He's like, no, you're not even going to water. But they have that amazing ratchet mechanism. Their wingspan is equal to an average human arm span. So she's on the tree. So it's equal to average human arm span, so it reaches about 1.5 to 1.8 meters. Don't look at me for this, I'm way below average, but you can actually check for yourself because you have their wingspan on the board out there. So you can check that after the display and see if these are average or not. They have a very varied diet, so these guys will eat near enough anything. So they will eat insects when they're flying in the sky. They will also hunt small mammals and small birds, and they'll eat dead animals such as sheep and deer. They don't have the capability to kill those animals because they have tiny feet in them, tiny talons. So they don't have the capability to kill those bigger mammals such as the sheep and deer, but they will eat them if they're already dead. But it was once believed that they did used to kill those animals, so it was believed that they killed livestock, and because of that they weren't very nice. They were thought of much like how we think of pigeons and crows today, as pests and such. And because of that they actually became extinct in Ireland in the 20th century. So they used to be found here, but they became extinct, which is really sad considering how amazing these birds are. Now luckily enough, the Golden Eagle Trust had to reintroduce them back into Ireland. So for the reintroduction, between the years 2007 and 2011, 240 red kites were released in the counties Dublin, counties Wicklow and County Down. For the reintroduction, the kite chicks were taken from Welsh red kites under licence by the National Park and Wildlife Service, along with counterparts in the UK and amongst experts in the Golden Eagle Trust. They took them back to Ireland and they were raised in specially designed aviaries that were hidden away in hills and woodland. They had absolutely no contact with people. And the tree up there. Yeah. But they had absolutely no contact with people. They worked with them very slowly until they were at fledgling age. And once they were at fledgling age, they opened up the back of the aviaries and they allowed them to go and come as they pleased. And they provided food at bigger and bigger intervals. So this allowed for the chicks to be able to become wild as such without the risk of starvation. It was very successful, and now red kites can be seen all over the west coast of Ireland. So we even see a breeding pair that flies by here, which is pretty cool to see. Although they could be doing better, so they're still getting persecuted, which is really sad. So what we do with the Golden Eagle Trust now is we work with the Hawkeyes project, which is a new initiative that they're doing, and it's a program where they're fitting red kite chicks with satellite backpacks. So it's about tracking them to make sure that they're not getting persecuted or killed, and it's about keeping their numbers up. So we raise donations that goes towards their satellite backpacks. She's been hella lazy on that trip.
It's a hooded crow.
Hooded crow just... See if she comes down. Don't know if these guys can even see her. So she landed right up in the tree. See if we can get her down. But yeah, the Golden Eagle Trust does amazing work for them. They also help to reintroduce white-tailed seagulls, seagoat who live in the corners. They're reintroduced into Cork and Kerry, and they also reintroduced golden eagles into the best right ever, Donegal, not biased or anything, I promise. But it's very, very successful organisation. For these guys breeding, they're monogamous, so they'll mate with partners for life. They'll lay 3 to 4 eggs on average, that takes about 30 days to hatch. Shakespeare actually mentioned these guys quite a bit in his writing. So for example, in The Winter's Tale, he says that counts bills look to this or linen. So in this is actually referencing their thieving habits. So these guys are quite well known for stealing sandwiches, but they're also quite well known for stealing women's underwear. It's actually a very cute reason why they do it. So they do it to line their nest with soft material to make it nice and comfy for their young. But it is quite funny. So if you're missing underwear when you leave here, it was more than likely a red kites. which is pretty fun. See if we can get her down. She's just being hella lazy. Sometimes when they're a little bit overweight, what happens is they decide to perch up and do absolutely nothing. The same with us after Christmas dinner. So sometimes that can happen every now and again. They're just like, I just want to do nothing. For a big meal today, she's getting some quail, which is very exciting. So these guys will get chicks, they'll get quail, rabbit head, stuffed necks. We try to mix it up as much as we possibly can. There's all that variety for them. So we try to make it as exciting as possible for them. So she comes down now. The toy kite that kids love to play with was actually named after these guys. You know the kite that you fly in the sky? That was named after these red kites, which is really cute. Kites as well. There's a different species of them. The red kites are the ones that you can see now. It's pretty cute. They have amazing eyesight, so even though she's up there, she can see deck and look that there's no water at all. She's just choosing that one better than anything else. But yeah, she's better. But she can very much see me. So they can see it about 3 times better than we can. They can see medium-sized prey from a mile away. So how I like to describe this is if there's a bull up and a viking up there, she'll be able to see it from this arena and from a mile from this arena, which is pretty crazy. All raptors have binocular vision, so this means that their eyes face forward, just like ours do, and they have a 3D view of the world around them. They also have a nictate members, so this means that their third eyelid that basically closes horizontally, and it helps to keep out dirt or debris for whenever they're hunting. Where'd you go? You come down. Thank you. Much appreciated. On that thing. Now, as much as they're not shy with one another, they can be quite shy with us. So once she knows when she's in, I'll be putting her foot on her, and then I can bring her a bit closer to you. But yeah, she's a little bit more shy with people, which is kind of fair. It's just how they are in general with their species. They don't like people very much. So you'll notice the transmitter on her too. That is for the purpose if she decides to go a little bit too far, you can see where she goes to. They never tend to. The furthest one goes is right to Shannon Airport, which is far but not too far because they're their birds. Yeah. Yeah, you know, so when you're a bit closer while she's eating, but once she finishes eating, she will become a bit more shy. They're just quite a shy, different species in general. Okay, so I'm going to disappear her. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thanks for me taking over now.
Okay, guys. Anyone afraid of birds? No? I mean, that one was very far away, wasn't it? Didn't really come very close to you, so I'm going to find this guy now. I'm just going to come a little bit closer. So my name is Declan, that was Abby, and the kite, and of course, this guy here, his name is Calvin. So we're going to come into the crowd with you guys with this guy. Is that okay? Yeah. So you got nothing to worry about. Calvin is professional, so he's going to fly very close. Keep your hands down though, right? He won't land on you, but keep your hands down just in case. So, yeah, you better catch him in the kite. Oh, he dropped it on the way. So Calvin is a hawk, he's a Harris hawk, just the species, H-A-R-R-I-S. Any of your teachers are afraid of birds, do you think? Yeah? You know whose side I'm on. No, we're only joking. Calvin's a Harris hawk, so these are not native to Ireland, these are found in the Americas. So the southern United States, Southern California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, all these places. They're a desert bird, really, very dry, arid regions. And the reason why we have them here, they are pretty much the #1 most popular bird of prey species for use in certain public realms. So with you guys flying onto people's gloves and flying close to people's heads, Harris hawks are the go-to. So they're the only bird of prey species on the planet that lives and works in a coordinated social grouping. So a pack is what we would call it, like wolves or like lions or dolphins in the ocean. You name it. There's a variety of species that do this. Harris hawks are the only bird of prey which have managed to figure out how that works. And it's to their success. And the reason why they do that is because they live in the desert, and the desert is very hard to survive in, right? There's not much water, there's not much food, and so these guys have got to do their best to try and survive out there. I'm going to squeak past you guys, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. So we will take out a few volunteers in a minute, but we just want to get a massive close to everybody. You're a terrorist. Just try and stay nice and quiet, because Calvin's actually afraid of small children because of their erratic behavior sometimes. And how loud they can be. You guys aren't small, you'll be okay. You're big. So, Calvin has never been to the desert. Important to clarify that. I'm sure Abby probably mentioned that the kite was born in Antwerp Zoo, so that's in Belgium. And the Harrisfolk here, and we've got 6 Harrisfolks in the centre, they're the most popular birds that we have here. They're bred by a falcon and a raptor breeder in County. So he's never been to the desert, but he's still exactly the same as his wild counterparts. He's no different. You can see just how quick he is. You saw him catch up a piece of food. So they still have all the same instincts and physical ability.
What? My birthday.
So, okay, right, one more flag for you guys. There's a lot of other people to get around to. So Calvin lives with his siblings. He lives with his sister Sinead and his brother Al, Juan, and that's the 4 of them who live with him together. So a pretty cohesive pack unit. And Calvin is sort of in the middle of the hierarchy. So there's a difference between males and females. It's the same with all raptors. It's the same with the kite as well. Females are bigger than males, so they're also larger. Do you guys want to hazard a guess how heavy you think Calvin is?
10 pounds.
Say it. Who said something in grams over here?
Oh.
But it's a good guess. He's actually a bit heavier than that. Do you want to be the first one to hold him? Okay, cool. 1. So, Calvin is actually 772 grams today, to be specific. So, you're a little bit off, but that was a good guess. Normally people give us time. Okay, you're confident. Have you done this before? Never? Here you go. Yeah, well done. You give a clap if you like. So the female hawks are much heavier. They're over 1 kilogram. So Calvin's about 1.5 pounds for you guys from North America here with us today. Thank you. Good job. So Calvin's about 1.5 pounds. A female hawk would be more than 2 pounds. Have a look and see what he catches the food with now. I'm going to do a big throw in the air, right, before we need more volunteers. So you guys can have a look. See what body part he uses to catch food. Oh, he got it on the second try. Did you guys see that? Talons, yeah. So you guys want to hold them?
Whatever.
Yeah, that's the first one. And then what I'll do is I'll let Sana tackle volunteers from the general public. And I'll look after you guys from the court. There we go, that's the plan. And we'll try and get a few people to hold the hawk. We've lost him now, he's busy eating. I see it, he's on top of the toilet. So, with Harris hawks being so popular for this kind of work, as I said, the number 1 species that we have here in the centre. Other birds fly to people's clubs, but these guys, because of their social nature naturally, what makes it different to other birds of prey which don't live in groups. So for the kites, for example, they're kind of gregarious. Good job, well done. But Harris hawks are great at communicating to one another. So they use their tail, they do little tail signals. Guys, just hands up, and I'll try and pick. We'll try it in the red. Here, you can come out. Normally, Calvin doesn't do people who are very small. So I don't know if this will work, but we'll try. Left hand. Okay, he's coming. He's not. Well, he stopped halfway.
I don't know.
So some of the ways these hawks communicate, they're incredibly vocal. Also on our hawk walk, we heard the alarm call. So they hate dogs. They really dislike dogs because coyotes will try and catch baby Harris hawks in the desert. So they have an alarm call that they give. Good job. When they see anything that looks vaguely dog-like, and it's a very harsh, fierce call. And then you guys won't hear it in the distance. Calvin's constantly purring. It sounds a little bit like a cat. Little purrs, chirps, various ways of communicating. And the biggest way is to use their tail. On the back, you want to have a go? Yeah, your hand is up. That's how it's going to work. Hands up, and we'll try and get round to. We won't, as Abby said, we won't get all of you guys. We might get 10 people at a push if we're lucky, and that's it. So their tail is like flag. They've got a little white stripe at the tip of their tail that you guys can see there, and that's what they use to. You can put your fingers on that still. That's what they use to communicate to one another. And another interesting thing you guys can see, Calvin's got one tail feather that's shorter than the rest. Good job. Your hand in the middle row. Yeah. So he's got one tail feather that's shorter than the rest. Any idea what that's all about? If you get it right, if you guess it right, you get to have a go. Think about that. For steering. The one shorter one, but not really. The tail and the hole is for steering.
Here we go.
So they molt. You guys know what molting is? Yeah, exactly. Just like a dog. And then this is their hair in springtime. So these guys molt. They drop their feathers. So that one that's short here on his tail, it was the full length of the rest of it fell out, and that was brand new that's growing through. So if you look at use the regular crows and birds flying around your house or around your school or whatever at this time of year, you'll see gaps in their wings and tails because they all grow at this time of year.
Anyone else over here with that?
Do you guys remember what the first bird was called? Yeah, we said it first.
We'll get you next, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, what? It was him? You're very honest.
God.
You're very honest. Very funny. Sure.
Roll over there first.
Do you guys have any questions? If you have an interesting question about the bird, you can stand here to your left with me, if that's okay. If you have any interesting questions about the bird, I'll put you out. Any questions? All hands go down, yeah.
How much do they eat in a day?
How much do they eat in a day? It's different here than it is in the wild, because we can manage his diet. We keep that feather as well. Just can manage it. Well, not interested? Give it to somebody else then. Good job. So their diet in the wild is whatever they can catch. Give the opportunity. So a pack of parasols could catch something big, like a jackrabbit or something, which is way too much food for one hawk to eat. So he could eat about 100 grams of food, maybe a bit more, in one sitting. But they can live off much less than that. So we try and recreate that up and down balance in the wild. In the blue, yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, you pointed at the guy behind me, but I'll get him right after. Okay, left hand. So some of the food that we eat right here, chicken and quail is the main food source. Well done. Rabbit and duck available as well. It's okay. It's okay. Well, I'll get that young man behind you as well. We've got fish for the fish-eating birds and sea eagles. So you've got to provide a pretty wide-ranging diet. They eat other things in the wild, so they drink small mammals, they're super adaptable with what they can catch. Good job. Anybody know why he's got a bell on him? So we can hear him. Yeah. What circumstance do you think I would need to hear him if I couldn't see him? He's pretty obvious. He's here. Hey guys, well, that's a good point. Do you want to have a go? Yeah, you, yeah. They'll hunt here sometimes. That's what happens. You can stand to the left. We just have to let him go with this chap over there. There we go. Left hand. So sometimes they'll catch small birds and rodents in the field and in the woods. And that will help us to find him when he is hiding with his prize. He's also got a radio transmitter on. I heard I was saying that about the pipe as well. That's his wire.
Good job. Thank you.
Good telemetry. It's not heavy, easy at all. So he's got rings on his legs too. These little aluminium rings, they went over his feet when his feet were small enough to go into the going through them. That's how you know they're born captivity. But he's also got a microchip. Very good. Good job, middle. Everyone's pointing at this girl here. So yeah, okay. Any questions? Any other questions, folks? You can stand to the left of me. Have you done this before? No? Are you a big fan of birds? No? You nervous? Are you scared? So keep your hand up high in the air. Well done. Okay, good job. Good job. Guy in the back left corner. Okay. So we're nearly done with Calvin here. We'll do maybe one or two more volunteers. Left hand. And then Sana is going to fly with us. Guys. All very exciting. Back and forth. No questions, folks, before we wrap up. Everyone's pointing at him. Yeah, okay, you can go ahead. There we go. Nominated. He's sticking with you. Good job, well done. Everybody thank. Have you done this before? No? Are you nervous? I didn't think so. That's okay, I'll send you a hand. Give me your hand. That's it, thumb on top. Okay, I'll make you the last one. Okay, folks. We're going to do a few more of these catches first. And then, so you're going to launch them for me. What's your name? Jay? Jack? Jack, you're going to launch them, alright? Good job. Not to do much. Well done, Jack. Fair play. Any questions over here, guys? You have one more go. Okay, come on. Go. I'm going to bring you over here in front of everybody else. So Santa's going to come out with one more bird. These you guys are first more hands. That was a great fly, that one. Oh, you missed it, did he? It's a shame. You're very welcome, guys. Thanks very much. No problem. No problem. I'm going to take Calvin off, guys. Santa's going to come right out. I'll see you all after the display. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Fellow bird's like, I want to fly too.
Hi everybody. Everyone enjoy that? Yeah. Great. So I'm here with the last bird, and his name is Simon. Now Simon over here is a lanner falcon, L-A-N-N-E-R. They're not native birds, so if you want to see them in the wild, it's in Africa you find them, in parts of Europe and in Asia. Now we do have peregrine falcons over here, so they will be the closest related to these. And those are native to Ireland, so if you do really want to see a falcon, please don't go over here. It's a great spot to see them. So quite similar, of course, everyone, or most people know, peregrines are the fastest bird, fastest animal in the world, right? So they go about 300 to 400 kilometers an hour. Now this guy is not that fast, so he goes about the speed that you go on the motorway, the highway. So he'd be able to keep up with your car, so 100 plus kilometers an hour. Which is very fast enough. That's an amazing question. So some species, they are a bit shy of people. If I would take them off, he probably gets afraid, he gets a bit shy. So the hood is just to cover his eyes to keep him calm. Because what you can't see, can't scare him, right? So with any wild animal, if you want to try and calm them down, cover their eyes. It's a great way to do it. Also, if I take his hood off, he will go right into hunting mode, and that's exactly what we're going to do today with him. We are going to recreate the hunt. So how we're going to do that? We're going to try and catch this off me. So this is called a lure. It's just a bit of leather attached to a rope. It's not really fancy, but it does the job. So he's been taught from a very young age, if he touches that, he gets his dinner. Now at the beginning we might attach some wings to it, you might attach his food to it to make it a bit more attractive for him to try and catch it. But we'll try that first, then we start running away with it, gets to touch it again, gets his food, and then at the end, is what we're going to do today, we are going to swing it in the air. Now it's going to recreate an injured bird, right? So just like any other bird, you will try your best to not get caught. So we're going to do the same over here, so I'm going to pull it away just last second. And that's how we showcase his speed.
What's on his tail?
What's on his tail? Well spotted. So over here you might have seen it. It's a little metal device. So that's a radio transmitter. That's what it's called. And what it is, it's just when the birds fly away. Get a bit worried about them. You can always track them down. Now it doesn't often happen that they fly away. What more often happens is the wind actually blows them away. So this little guy's only 700 grams, right? So you can imagine, especially if you're a bit higher up in the air, the wind can be quite strong. So they get blown off course. They decide to go with the wind. So it has happened, for example, to our sacred falcon, Millie. She got a bit lost and we found her at Shannon Airport, which is an hour away from here. So a very useful little device, just in case it does happen. Right, so before he starts flying, he will do a few things. So the most important one, we will check his surroundings. Just going to take off the hat. Looks a bit funny now, but there we go. Almost Simon. Almost there. There we go. So first check, right? What's in the air? Anything he has to worry about? Any predators? Any buzzards? Any wild falcons? Kestrels? We have all of them flying around here. So he's just checking the area if there's something here. Now the other few days, that there was a buzzard flying around, and he was just too afraid to be flying there, because he just doesn't trust it. So he's just checking the area. Another thing he might do is ruffle up all his feathers. So you do a little ruffle, and that way all the feathers are in the exact place they're supposed to be, so it helps with his speed. And then the last thing he will do, he doesn't always do this one, but they will try to get rid of all the weight he doesn't need by taking a huge poop. Now, as a little guy, he doesn't have the grass, even a bit too or lose some of that weight. What do you think about it? So when he does start flying, just make sure you stay seated. Don't stick your hands up, don't stand up off the sun, because he goes really fast. There you go. Well done, Simon. Probably got land over there. Perfect. So yeah, just for your own safety, just stay seated when you start flying it. And I'll tell you a bit about how to do it. So as soon as he sees the lure, he's going to try and go for it. So I'm trying to be a bit of distance. There we go, that's perfect. Now, if he comes really, really close, you can actually see his feet pop out. So just a few centimeters before his prey, the feet pop out to try and grab it. And he's going to use different techniques. So today, luckily, we don't have any sun, because with the sun, he loves to fly directly in front of it, and trying to blind you guys. Trying to hide behind you guys, behind the bushes, popping out less seconds to try and cut me off guard. Now, you're not doing this thing called a steep. That's when they create the highest speed they can. So what they will do, they go up high in the air, they will tuck their wings in, and they are a little tear-shaped droplet. You will literally use all the way to they drop themselves. So in the beginning he does quite big loops. Now he's going to get a bit tired. He's going to take tighter and tighter loops, making it more difficult for me to keep pulling away this lure. It's amazing. Now he does get hot, of course, but first they can't sweat, right? So that will move their feathers. So you might see him starting to pant just like a dog does to get rid of some of that heat. I'll get a bit closer to you guys. So just again, see it where you are. Now he's 14, this little guy. He's quite old, because in a while, it's around 7 would be the max. So in captivity, they could go even triple their lifespan, which is just amazing. Great. So give him a few more, because he's getting a bit tired. Again, he's an old guy. But still, doesn't stop him. Alright. It's going to be the last one, this one. We're going to drop it on the ground. Hopefully he will gently grab it. Perfect. Well done, Simon. Oh. Now the most important one is the swap. So if I don't give him anything nice, he's not going to let go of that lure. If he doesn't think it's fair, if I just give him one chicken, that's not enough. He will not give you the lure, so it needs to be a fair trade. Today he's getting quail, which is his favourite, so I'm sure he will let go of it right away. He did not. Got his little talon in there. We let go of the lure, buddy. So he's just going to eat his reward now. So we're mainly bird eaters in the wild, so we try to keep it natural. So we give him pigeon, we give him quail, we give him chicks. Just try and keep it as natural as possible. Now every now and then they will catch a rodent, so we do the same every now and then. He gets little mice. But yeah, that's kind of his diet. So with other birds they have different diets. So for example, a white-tailed seagull, she's a huge girl, but she is mainly a fish eater. So when there's one, she gets salmon heads, she gets herring, things like that. I'm just gonna retouch the gear over here. And then if you want, you can come up nice and close, take a picture with it or off him. If you have any more questions about this little guy or any of our other birds, or just birds in general, you don't know anything about birds, come up to me, don't be shy. Otherwise, I want to thank you all so much for coming and for listening, and have a great rest of your day, guys.
That's cool.